50 cents. Just roped Jennifer Lopez into Diddy's case, accusing her of allegedly having freak-offs with minors at Diddy's parties, and he brought some solid proof to back up his words. You all know that 50 Cent does not play when it comes to taking Diddy down. And this time, he is also coming for Diddy's associates, including J.Lo. For a long time, we thought that J.Lo's only involvement with Diddy was that 1995 shooting that set up Shine to take the fall. But it looks like she may have continued to take part in Diddy shenanigans long after they broke up. Get this, 50 Cent is also claiming that Ben Affleck knew about it. This is why he chose to leave J.Lo before everything came crashing down. But what exactly did Ben know about J.Lo's activities? And was Diddy really blackmailing J.Lo with the footage of her and the young boys? Well, at 50 Cent, tell it he has all the answers and y'all won't believe the things he has to say now. If there's one person that we all know has had a history with Diddy, it's J.Lo. She and Diddy dated in the late 90s. And there have been many speculations about how she was Diddy's right-hand woman, and knew more than she was letting on. It was kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde situation. And she was definitely the Bonnie to his Clyde, if you know what I mean. But for some reason, the true nature of the extent of her relationship with Diddy has always been kept securely under wraps. Sure, we knew that she and Diddy dated, but the streets have always talked about how there was more to the story than we knew, and how she's always had something to hide, especially with that 1999 shooting. So picture this. Diddy and J.Lo were out at a club in Times Square celebrating the soon-to-drop album of Shine, Diddy's 21-year-old protege, who was still pretty new to the game, just like J.Lo at the time. But when they were leaving the club, Diddy, with a champagne bottle in his hand, accidentally bumped into a guy named Matthew Allen, better known as Scar in the streets. Scar wasn't having it, and pushed Diddy, and things popped off from there. Scar didn't take too kindly to this act of dental bump and pushed Diddy, and things started off from there. Then one of Scar's crew members, D, decides to throw a stack of mon-popping eye in Diddy's face like confetti. Next thing, Diddy pulls out, his shots are fired. The chaos left 3 people including Natana Ruin, who was reportedly in the face by Diddy. Meanwhile, Diddy and J.Lo didn't stick around as soon as the shots rang out. They dipped, hopping into a Lincoln Navigator with the gun stash in the trunk. Now here's the kicker. They weren't even caught for the shooting. At first, they got pulled over because they ran a red light while trying to make a getaway talk about sloppy at the station. Diddy and J.Lo got their mugshots taken, and J.Lo was reportedly a home-ass crying all over the place. She was handcuffed to a pole at one point, and her mom showed up yelling at her in Spanish like, "I told you to stay away from that man." Y'all, even her mama knew that Diddy was bad news and that he would take J.Lo down with him and be a negative influence on her. And y'all, she was definitely right. Think about it and obtain this. According to sources, one of the lawyers said that J.Lo gave Diddy permission to use her name in order to clear him of the gun charges stemming from the event. You might not be familiar with this judge, yet this individual. It's absurd that Jennifer Lopez, a well-known actress, would imagine that Mr. Cum is accompanying her when they're out and about. However, for whatever reason, that defense worked, and Diddy was cleared of all charges. It turned out that J.Lo had more involvement in the shooting than just letting him use her name to get off the charges. In Little Rod's lawsuit, he claimed that Diddy had told him that J.Lo was the one who had initially carried the gun in the club, and that she had given him the when he got into the altercation with Scar, telling him to start y'all what Little Rod's lawsuit said. Text. After he got into an argument with someone else, he shared the artist and Mr. Coles' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, also known as J.Lo, carried him into the club. Yes, given that J.Lo acknowledged in an interview that she was still smitten with Diddy and would stop at nothing to please him, it appears that she was in a serious relationship with the singer. It was the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful. I was in the relationship with Puff, where I was totally crying crazy and going nuts. I really took my whole life in a tailspin. 50 Cent claims that even though J.Lo was married to other men, she was allegedly still involved with Diddy, and when he started to get involved in freak-offs, J.Lo was allegedly right beside him, according to the indictment documents that were released by the feds. Well, according to 50 Cent, JLA was crazy enough to do anything Diddy wanted, including allegedly participating in these freak-offs even after they broke up. The accused had a consistent and widespread pattern of behavior with women and other people. This behavior included manipulating women to take part in highly orchestrated acts of activity with male commercial workers. The manipulation could be verbal, emotional, or physical. Occasionally, Combs and other individuals working under his direction arranged for women in commercials to travel to their location. They also made sure that the women participated by, among other things, obtaining and distributing to them control over their careers through his financial support and utilizing intimidation to stop the same. And 6 it added, the defendant utilized the company's operations, including those of certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and conceal his and commercial activities. These employees served as Combs' intermediaries, and their actions were made possible by Combs' control over the company's operations. They included security personnel, household staff, personal assistants, high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates. The feds also disclosed that numerous artists have participated in the freak-off events, which they have been observing for years. Off-the-record stated text. In order to intimidate and entice women into his orbit, often under the guise of a romantic relationship, Combs and other members of the company's enterprise combined their power and prestige to do so. Combs then used force and coercion to force the women to engage in prolonged acts with male commercial workers, whom he refers to as, among other things, freak-offs. It went on text. Freakouts happened frequently, sometimes lasting several days, and frequently involved several commercial workers. During these episodes, supervisors would give out a range of controlled substances, partly to maintain compliance and obedience. In some cases, the supervisors were unaware of this, as they recorded videos of themselves performing acts with commercial workers. Following these episodes, supervisors would give out Combs and IV fluids to help the workers recuperate from their physical exertion. And Deuce, 50 Cent is now asserting that J.Lo supposedly attended the freak-offs and participated actively in the festivities. In addition, 50 Cent is now claiming that J.Lo's partners in the freak-offs were not always of legal age, if you understand what I mean. And according to an insider, not only does 50 Ci know all about this, but he also volunteered that information to the police and handed over video footage of J.Lo in the freak-offs with young boys. One thing about 50 is that he will always hate on Diddy until the end of time, and this time is no different. He may have missed his call, and as a CIA agent, he is going beyond just trolling Diddy on social media, because turning over the footage to the feds will get Diddy and J.Lo in even more trouble. Finally, his documentary will be amazing when he releases it, because this man has a lot of tea that he's been saying he's not afraid to spill. Text Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are divorcing because the FBI informed Affleck of the videos and the impending indictments, according to reports that 50 Cent is providing wires to Hollywood friends, revealing that the FBI has tapes of Lopez having sex with underage girls and boys at PDY freak-off parties. Additionally, Jay was caught in multiple lewd tapes that were seized during PD house raids. It's beginning to appear that Ben filed for divorce in order to avoid being personally involved in this, which kind of explains the rumors that J.O. and Ben were...
If that increases and it gets superseded with a different indictment. But currently there's only one defendant. My guess is that all of those individuals that could have been co-defendants or could have been co-conspirators or could have been involved in a RICO case have flipped on Sean Combs, and they're getting some sort of immunity.
Spotted holding hands and kissing despite their divorce. You may recall that reports surfaced about people in the know being flippant about Diddy and trying to get deals done, and it appears that J.Lo may be one of those people because Miss Jenny from the block is not going down with Diddy. Fans have been all over it, and they believe the comments that, knowing that Kim Porter was still seeing Diddy, J.Lo dated him. She gave herself over to Diddy in exchange for fame, and now she's using him to embarrass J.O. Someone else mentioned, naturally, J.Lo was involved. She worked with Diddy to launch her career, and it succeeded. However, she is such a narcissist that she was aware of Diddy's qualities, such as the idea that anyone can become a famous person by doing anything. Diddy was her ticket. Now that she is paying the price for dealing with evil, she shouldn't care because she achieved her goal. Fame and fortune. But I was curious about your thoughts on this. What do you guys actually think? Leave a comment below with your thoughts about Jenny from the block doing this horrific thing with Diddy, and then watch the next video.